Well, good morning. I just got busted by the wind, so I'm out here. The wind's going this way, that way, and this way, and this way. So I figured I'd do a quick video on gear. Most important thing you can ever have in your gear is a wind checker if you're hunting coyotes in the mountains, which you'll find that's what I'm all about. I enjoy hunting them in the fields with friends, nephews, but my passion is hunting coyotes in the mountains, and it's hard because if you know anything about hunting in the mountains, the wind is doing what's doing today. So you get these windows of opportunity: early morning, late evening, midday. If you've got a sustained front coming through, or post front, sometimes you get just sustained winds. But you cannot hunt coyotes in the mountains of Virginia, at least where I live, without having some kind of wind puffer, wind checker. And you just have to live and die by this right here. You got to know what that wind is doing and make it work for you and not in the other direction, because I promise you, if you sit around too long and wait too long, the wind's going to change. So get these windows of opportunity. You got to use draws, use points, use land features in order to get close to where you think these coyotes are. You have to study the area you're hunting. Once you know where they're at, you've located them at night using your howlers, going out there and howling, using your e-collar to go out at night and locate these things. Mark that on your map. Use a good hunting app. I use Base Map. I love their map systems. It's probably the most affordable one out there, and it's easy to do. It's got topo on it. It's got hybrid maps, and it's got satellite view. And the satellite view is actually a Google Earth satellite view. It's not some drawn up thing like on some of the other hunting apps. Base Map is very easy for me to use. I grew up using topo maps that the USGS service puts out, and they have those on Base Map. So that's why I use it. I'm familiar with the maps already. I use an AR with a red dot, but I have backup iron sights. That's how I keep my red dot sighted in. This is an EOTech, but most guys will tell you EOTechs do get off while they're bouncing around in your car for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a whole half a season. That thing will, depend on which side the gun's laying on one day versus the other day, that sight will move in there. So if you have backup iron sights, and I use the Magpul low profile and turn the post to the real fine direction, then every time I go out hunting, I just turn my EOTech on, make sure that the dot is centered up on the post and it is right on top of the post. And that is how I keep my EOTech dialed in. So I make the adjustments I need to right then and there. I don't have to shoot the gun, don't have to go to the range. An ex-Marine, Sergeant Francis, down here in Virginia, showed me that tip, and I can't thank him enough. I've missed coyotes by not having that thing sighted in or kept sighted in, not realizing that that's what was going on, and he informed me that that's what happened. So having those backup irons on here keeps the weight of your gun down. You don't have a 2.5 pound vortex on here. If you are going to use a scope, get a low power, like a 1.5 to 6 or 1.5 to 8 Strike Eagle, 30 millimeter tube. You got a huge field of vision when you are on 1.5 power. You get something that jumps in at you at 10 feet, 12 feet, you can still get on them. I prefer a red dot because most of my shots are either 8 feet or 20 yards. And occasionally I'll get one 75 or 100 yards, but a red dot is good for that. I mean, I'm grouping like that at 100 yards with a red dot. So other essential gear: good set of hand calls that you can make howls with, you can make bird sounds with, and cat sounds and raccoon fights with. This is Johnny Stewart dog howler. This is the Primos little dog, and the catnip. The catnip's a great coon sounds, great cat sounds, just great fox fight sounds on that catnip. Good e-collar that's loud. So this is the Shockwave and Fox Pro, and it works great. The X24 is a good call too. I got friends that have that. I got friends that have the Lucky Duck. That's a good loud call. You want a call that can get loud. It's not the funnest time to be out here calling when it's super windy. But when you have super high wind, your wind currents are a little more predictable, which is good. I hate hunting in the mountains when it's light and variable. So I need to have at least a 5 to 10 mile an hour, wind coming from a certain direction in order to, even feel confident to come out. I hate hunting when it's like winds light and variable today. That's one of the worst things you can ever hear. If you do have to hunt on days like that, stick to your higher elevations. And coyotes that are in higher elevations, sometimes that higher elevation can help you. You're calling the dogs up to you, and you can manage the wind a little better. But stay out of the bottoms, river bottoms. Yeah, just light and variable. You just can't hunt in those hollows. You can't hunt in the ravines when it's like that. Good walking stick. We'll use that for a rest. Most of the time now when I'm in the mountains, I'm calling, I'm standing up. I've had too many times where I've been sitting down and had coyotes come in, and the lay of the land or whatever, a little fold in the ground, couldn't see them, heard them, got busted. They warning barked at me, but I never saw them. I heard them come in, then they started yipping at me, let me know that, hey, we busted you, but I didn't get a shot because I wasn't up where I could see them. Another good thing is you got to have a face mask, good camouflage. This time of year, I don't wear long sleeves. I just try to get in some good cover. Snow camouflage in the wintertime can be helpful, but always during deer seasons and stuff, you got to wear blaze orange because there's people out here deer hunting. During deer season and bear season, usually I'll just come out and locate at night. And then once those seasons kind of taper off, I kind of know where there's some coyote groups hanging out, and then I'll come in and prey sound them. Another tip for hunting in the mountains, you do want a good pack that has a rifle carrying case with some straps. This will allow you to put your gun on there, especially if you're using an AR, but even a regular gun, just get it on your back, get to where your spot is. When you start getting close to where you think you're going to call, go ahead and get your call out of your pack, get that thing ready to go, because oftentimes when you sit down to call, you only have about a 5 to 20 minute window until the wind changes. So when you go in to set up, you say, well, I'm going to set up here. You're puffing the wind the whole way in there, taking your time, making sure that wind's not going to bust you. Once you get set up, you don't want to take 20 minutes to get your call set out. First of all, get to where you're going to sit, and then drop your pack, drop your gun, grab your call, get it over to where it's going to be, and get back to where you don't be going over there and setting your sweaty pack down right where the call is, because that's going to scent downstream. So get to where you're going to sit, drop your pack, have your call in hand already, and get over there and get it set, and then get to calling. Don't take a half an hour to get your setup right. I'll do another video at some point on what makes a good setup in the mountains, but that's kind of some of the gear I run. I do use some hiking poles every now and then, one in each hand when I got real steep terrain to climb, but I always miss this thing whenever I get in there, because this thing is just so helpful for standing and having a good rest. That's pretty much it. Hope that helps, and get you out there in the mountains. Don't be intimidated by hunting out here in the mountains. It's a lot more intimate. Most of the time you're going to shoot these things anywhere from 10 feet to 20 yards. And we'll talk more about setup later. But have you a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.